I want to talk about what a stock is. And we've touched on this in some of the other sections, but a stock basically is a piece of equity. So in the case, when we talk about equity, we're talking about ownership interests. And a small company will have small equity and will have a small number of equity holders. So for example, a restaurant, there'll be one owner who might have put in $50,000 and owns that restaurant. Big companies have many owners, and the reason that they have many owners is there are many reasons why, but some of them include they want to have access to capital from many owners. If they had just one owner, that owner would have to provide, ultimately would have a huge amount of capital at stake. They want to be able to tap into ownership, they want to be able to raise capital more easily, so having ownership that's easily recognized and definable allows them to raise more ownership capital at points in time and take in more owners. And also, obviously, with the equity or the ownership is so large, then it makes sense to split it so that you can have many owners that have a reasonable sum of money in the business as owners. So huge companies have many owners, and these owners will own the equity if the company is public, and typically, this is what we're talking about here, will own stocks within the company. So what is a stock? A stock is a piece of the ownership of a company. So one owner will own equity in a restaurant, but for McDonald's, for example, millions of owners or thousands of owners will own equity in that company and will be part owners of that business. And that's what a stock is. Stock is a small piece of the equity of a company, and depending on how many shares there are outstanding, we can figure out what the percentage of the ownership of that business is. And as with any ownership stake, our return will depend on the value of the assets and the profits and returns that business is able to generate. Unlike lending or bonds, where our return depends much more on an interest rate. So a stock is a slice of the equity or a slice of the ownership of a company. And it's the ownership, when there are many owners in a public company, each stockholder owns a part of that business, and that's what a stock reflects. A stock in McDonald's, a stock in Coca-Cola, a share or a stock in any business is a piece of the equity or the ownership of that business.